Good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are doing well, you are healthy, you are fine, and you all have a positive mindset. So, a few of you have asked me question about project allocation. How does that happen? What about the shift timings are there? What kind of workload are there in projects? So I keep on getting questions like this. Also, what would be my location after I complete my graduation? Where the project will be? Am I gonna get work from home, or is it going to be hybrid mode, or is it work from office? So I thought about sharing, or rather making a video on that. So so this video is specifically for that. So let me first talk about how project allocation happens. So in order to understand the project allocation, you also need to understand that how the hiring is being done, because hiring, project allocation, both are correlated. Okay, your hiring happens based on the demand from a business. So a particular business at the very beginning of a year, for an example, in year 2023, they have a projection of that I need 100 people for one new project that I have this year. Based on that, hiring happens. So instead of 100, it will be 150 or 200 people who will be hired with buffers, because there will be people who will just leave the organization during training. Some might not make the training. All these things are being kept in check, kept in mind. So 200 folks have been hired. They will be trained, and whoever is remaining, they will be allocated to that business. So the business have already raised that demand at the very beginning of the year. I needed 100 folks. So based on that, allocation happens. The same thing is applicable for all of you who are there in training. All of you are already being projected or already being selected for some or the other project. And post you complete your training, and once you are graduated, you will be allocated in those projects. So your allocation is already planned. Excuse me. Now you might ask, so I just completed my training about a month back, I haven't got allocation, why is that? You also need to know, business demand comes and goes. So at this point of time, if the demand is not there, your allocation will wait. This time of year, specifically like October, November, September, this time of year, most of the time, the contract renewal goes on. So, which I have noticed, this is nothing official, guys, but I have noticed that this time of year, it takes time for allocation. Okay. However, allocation, once your training is complete, allocation will definitely happen within a month or so, max. Usually within, before your training ends, right away, within 2 or 3 days, your allocation gets processed. However, this time of year, it might take 1.5 months. Okay, no, it should not take more than that. If it does, then remember that project requirement is not there anymore. So you will be planned for some other projects and different kind of different business could be. Okay, so that's how allocation happens. Now question is, where am I gonna get allocated? I have done my training in Hyderabad. Now am I gonna get the project in Hyderabad, or it will be in Bangalore, or it will be in Chennai or Noida? Totally depends on the project. Most of the time it should be in your home base. However, if that project do not have any footprint in your home location, then your project manager, and if the client wants the entire team to be together, then your project manager might ask you to move to the location where the project exists. So keep that in mind. Okay, so totally depends on the project manager and the exist, not the location of the project. That's the place where you will get allocated. That will be your workplace. So keep that in mind. Next thing, is it going to be work from home, or it's going to be hybrid mode, or work from office? Now guys, it totally depends on what type of project it is. Now, majority of the project right now, post pandemic, or right now, I would say, during this pandemic situation, majority of the projects are all working from home. You might be asked to come and work from office for a few days, once or twice, might be because of team meeting, might be because of client meeting and town hall and whatnot. Otherwise, it is always work from home. You need to check with your project manager. So once you get allocated, you receive a triggered email with the project detail. Your project manager employee ID should be there as well. Reach out to your project manager, ask the working method. Is it going to be work from home or hybrid method, whatever it is. Now, if you yourself want to come and work from office, remember you have to book something called a flexi seat. You can do that from One Cognizant. However, you can only book it for 3 days, not more than that. So just keep that in mind. Uh, okay, that's about the location. I mean, that's about the working mode. Now, shift timings. Guys, again, that depends on the project. Now, there are few projects that works on UK shift. If that's how it is, if that is one of the project you get allocated, you might be logging in at 10 o'clock, logging out at 11 o'clock, AM and PM. Some projects who works in 24 hours, in that you might have a shift. I mean, you might be working in a morning shift or a night shift, and however majority of them work in a regular day shift. That's you are logging in at 9 o'clock, you are logging out at 7 o'clock. That's 10-hour shift. Now, how about shift? Okay, so how about the night shift? So yes, there are projects who work in night shift. If you are allocated to any such project, you will be receiving something called a night shift allowance. So just keep that in mind. Speak with your project manager if you are eligible for that or not. I think after, if you work beyond 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I think you will be eligible for the night shift, but I'm not sure. Check with your project manager for that. I am sure about that. If you work beyond 11, then definitely there is a night shift allowance you are eligible for. But if it is before that or not, check with your project manager. You would also be eligible for something called a internet reimbursement. So if you have a data card, you can return it, and you can first check with your project manager if that is applicable for your project or not. If it is, then you can just refund or rather return your data card, and you can get that reimbursement of $1,600 for internet. Okay, that's about the shift. So totally depends on the project. If you are getting a night shift, you will be getting night shift allowance. Pickup and drop should be there. For female associate, male associate, irrespective, everybody would be getting that. And as I said, what kind of people or customers you cater to depends on that. Production support. If you are in a production support, then it might be that you are working from office, okay? Because production supports, and there are few things, few projects, if you are in a critical role or if you are one of the critical resource, then you might have to work for office. So that's how it is. How about the workload? There are few projects where you just spend 3 to 4 hours in your core activities. There are few projects where you will invest entire 9 hours. There are few projects which no matter how much time you invest, you will see the work does not end. And there are few projects which does not have any work at all. So all in all, depends on the kind of project that you have, depends on the kind of role that you are playing and the team that you are a part of. Once you get first allocated to a project, so what exactly kind of work that you will get? So when you get first allocated to a project, you all play a non-billable role. None of you guys would be billable in the very first instance. One or two of you might be, but majority of you will be non-billable. The reason being, you need to understand how the project works. You need to understand the work, the client, what exactly is asked from you, your team member, and everything. Once you have a hang of it, after 5 or 6 months, once you are in the part of it, of the team, you are well suited now, you know everything in and out, then you become billable resource. So keep all these things in mind. That's about the project allocation, location, shift, shift allowances, work pressure, everything that depends on your project, okay? If you have anything else, any other questions like how about the release process, how to find new projects, how to move into different department or different technology, let me know. Whatever I know, I will share with all of you, okay? And anything specific, if you have any question, let me know about that as well. Hope you like this video. So if you did, ask your friends to watch it as well if you have the same queries. And again, thank you guys. Stay positive, stay strong, stay focused, and stay happy, guys. Good night. Stay well. Thank you.